I'm Lisa Theng from Colin Ng & Partners, a Singapore law firm. I've been in practice since 1991, started life as a litigator, but after a few years, I focused my practice on corporate commercial, M&A, cross-border investments. That's my main area of focus. Colin Ng & Partners is consistently ranked as a leading law firm in Singapore, and it's a full-service firm, meaning it has the full slew of services from corporate litigation and real estate. And corporate, it's a big practice with corporate commercial, corporate finance, funds, banking finance, tax, intellectual property, employment, the whole range of it. And for litigation, or we call it dispute resolution, it covers a whole range from mediation, litigation, court work, and arbitration. And of course, real estate, retail, and commercial. It's a firm that has been ranked and recognized in most legal publications. And we have partners, I'm proud to say, who are also recognized as leading professionals in their relevant experience in the area of their expertise. Colin Ng & Partners joined IR in March of 2013, so that's been quite a few years now, as a member in the commercial litigation arbitration segment representing Singapore. This is my first IR event after all these years as a member, and it's been a really positive experience. I've met so many people from all over the world with different experiences, so it's been fabulous. The most useful parts of the event for me, I would say two areas. One is the small group discussions that we have, that we get to introduce ourselves and hear our various, the members' various interests, business in this region, as well as their own experience back in their countries. So that's one. And secondly, of course, the food and drinks, because through the food and drinks, we get to bond, we talk about things beyond just the practice and get to know each other a little better. The panel discussion was wonderful because we focused on the development of Singapore, the advantages of Singapore as a business hub, and the Asian and European perspectives. So I thought that was interesting because we exchanged perspectives and ideas and see where we agree and where we differ. But I think that's part and parcel of life and practice, where you hear different perspectives and from that take away how you can implement or even take in the ideas that Balthazar shared yesterday. So I really appreciated that discussion we had. I'm really glad to have seen so many delegates from the US and from Europe here in Singapore. So that has been a real pleasant surprise in the number of the turnout. I think there are many opportunities in Singapore, and I believe that's why that drew them to Singapore, to meet up with practitioners in this region and also to explore probably possibilities. What I see Singapore has for the American or the US and European businesses would be Singapore as a platform, or really a possible headquarters for them for the Asia reach, because Singapore is in a way a gateway into Southeast Asia, and some say even into Asia. So with that, if they would set up their businesses here, and Singapore being primed in a position to be a great platform to launch into Southeast Asia, because Singapore has a great multicultural mix, multiracial. So we have the language capability and the cultural understanding of the region. So with that, I believe that when they bring the businesses here, they can then navigate Southeast Asia and Asia through Singapore. So that would be one. And Singapore has various DTAs so double tax treaties, FTAs with the countries around in Asia. So I do think that this is a great jurisdiction for them to have their headquarters. In terms of outbound work, I think Singapore companies have been focusing on innovation, technology, and all that. And for the US being the leading technology country, I think there will be many Singapore companies that will be looking to the US companies or businesses to do tie-ups, joint ventures, and certain projects together. So that could be a possible outbound from Singapore to the US. For Europe, there has been a recent, negotiations on free trade agreement with Europe, soon to be ratified, I hope. And I think that's the direction we're going. And with that, I think there will be businesses from Asia, perhaps through Singapore, into Europe as well. So I think that there's a great synergy for these countries. I think we're working with the UK firm, a member of IR, in a probate matter. Hopefully we'll have more. Singapore and in Southeast Asia, face-to-face meetings are, I would say, critical. We tend to want to build relationships first and trust before work would be referred freely. So I think face-to-face meetings like this is wonderful. If you pick up the phone and you speak to someone, you already know what the person looks like, and you build some kind of rapport and understanding, and that kind of frees one to start referring and just, making a quick call and just finding out the position in that jurisdiction. So face-to-face meetings, I would say, is a must. The pre-event dinner took place just before the formal events, and that was a great opportunity, we felt, for us to welcome visitors into Singapore earlier and bring them up for a meal. I mean, Singapore is a food city. And also we saw that as an opportunity, again, to get to know people earlier and over a casual meal. We had a meal at a boathouse in Fullerton area, which from the rooftop you can see Marina Bay Sands. So we thought that would be an ideal spot for us to have drinks and dinner together. And I think the group was about 20 over numbers. It was a small group, but yet not too small. And those who attended just enjoyed the event thoroughly. So that was wonderful. What I like about IR and how it's been organized is that during the conferences, we actually learn from the speakers, that's one. Secondly, we also learn from each other during our table discussions, the formal discussions in a way. We understand the business a little bit more, the practices of different jurisdictions. And then we also have the time, which is important and critical, where we get to know each other better and at a different level through food, drinks, and just mingling. And I think that is great, and it should be retained.